What's up, guys? In today's video, I go over my new used Jet City Custom 22. Stay tuned. What is up, you guys? It's your boy Luis Torres, and funny enough, because of my YouTube channel, I absolutely have a huge list of brothers that I talk to all the time, and one of those guys is my boy Chad out in Michigan. And so interestingly enough, our first conversations, we ended up, almost soon after going into pedals, and he absolutely loved the Boss Super Overdrive. And I was just like, whatever. I have tons of pedals. Don't feel like I actually need another overdrive. And then at one point, went overdrive crazy, ended up buying the SD1, and loved it. That pedal is absolutely incredible. And then just a few months ago, he was just like, hey, I think I'm going to end up swapping things around and getting rid of a few things. And he's like, I'm probably going to get rid of my Jet City. So I had already gotten my Soldano Jet City, which, was just designed by Mike Soldano. And then he kind of went into it a little bit, and I was just like, you know what, I should actually just buy it, because keep in mind that when I bought my Jet City Soldano designed 20 watt amp, it was heavily modified. It had the SLO mod along with the negative feedback on the back. So much, it just doesn't sound like a regular Jet City. So I was just like, let me get your amp too then. So I ended up buying it. It was shipped from his house in Michigan. It arrived in New York intact. Put that thing together, and it is a monster of an amp. Unlike, of course, the Soldano version that I initially bought, which I can literally plug straight in, and it is voiced perfectly because of the modifications it had. With this amp, it was actually designed by Martin Kidd, so he voiced it so it's more of a Marshall feel. And of course, because I have an array of Marshall amps, I knew exactly what to do with it. So the first thing I did was I threw on my Pepper's Dirty Tree, which is actually what I'm going to be using now. Keep in mind that this amp sounds incredible and crushing with the Boss SD1, which again is the Super Overdrive, which is about $45-50. I think I paid $45 for mine, but it sounds brutal with it. I just love my Pepper's Dirty Tree, so that's what I'm going to be using today. I'm actually going to be using my Kiesel Aries A6C, so let's go ahead and have a listen. All right, guys, and as always, in typical Luis Torres fashion, I am coming out of my Mesa 412 that is loaded with Celestion V30s. I'm using two mics. One on the left is the AT2020 by Audio-Technica, and the one on the right is the Sennheiser E906, brought to you in part by my boy Dilo Roman. So this way you guys get to hear exactly how much of a crazy beast of a 20 watt this amp is. It's actually loaded with 6V6 tubes and 5 12AX7s, which I actually swapped out. The ones that Chad has sent, and they actually have Mesa 5 Mesa 12AX7s. I know you would never think that an amp like that, made in China, would end up sounding anything remotely close to that. But again, super shocked, and I'm so glad that, Chad, you are the man. I remember just for a long time just being like, Jet City, you know, the heads are blue, 333, what is that? So I'm glad that Chad was like, dude, like, you don't understand, like, these amps are just hugely underrated. And I, you know, underrated, schmunderated. You know, they were these amps that for the most part were just like cheap little things made in China. Mike Soldano designed one, and you know, all the videos I've ever seen, they sound close to a Soldano SLO, and they never did. But the second one that I have, that one right there, that I ended up getting the Soldano logo for, that one is legit, sounds just like an SLO. It's absolutely crazy. Again, it's because of the modifications, and has the SLO mod done to it. The other is the Custom 22, which again is supposed to be voiced more for that Marshall tone, that British tone. And when you pair that head with any kind of awesome overdrive, like, dude, it's just shocking how amazing that thing sounds. And that one isn't modified, doesn't have anything. It literally just had the preamp tubes changed over because I opened it and I was just like, I think I have better tubes. And I did. So I literally had a bunch of brand new Mesa 12AX7 preamp tubes, swapped them all out, and was just shocked at how incredible it sounds. So if you guys get the chance to find an inexpensive Jet City, whether it's the JCA 20 or the JCA 22, which is what that one is, the Custom 22, I'm telling you now, just get it, because you can adjust the tones by either sending it off to Epic Amplification so they can modify it for you, or they actually sell the diagram that you can go ahead and modify it yourself if you know how to do those things. Or just use the diagram and give it to someone locally who can go ahead and modify it for you. Or just go ahead and throw your favorite overdrive pedal through it, use it as a boost, and done. So hopefully this video will help you see that it is a crunch driver if there ever was one. And I'm actually using just the overdrive channel because the crunch channel it's basically the equivalent of like a blue channel on a PV or an EVH. So whereas the overdrive is really more like the red channel on those amps. So guys, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully I made you guys laugh. And as usual, hopefully you learned something. And I will talk to you guys soon.